Peshin, who is the General Manager for the Cyber Division for Israel Aerospace Industries. The first question I'd like to ask you is the COVID-related challenges that you are observing with regards to the nation states.
So first and foremost, I think you would agree with me that the world has changed. The way we do business has changed. And I will highlight 4 characteristics of the new era, so to speak. Number one, many of us are working from home. I can see that you are conducting this interview from home at this point of time. This provides a lot of challenges. You're probably using your home infrastructure to communicate with me. You probably have a Wi-Fi network. This Wi-Fi network may or may not be encrypted. Since you are a fellow cyber expert, I tend to assume that it is encrypted and that you are using a strong password, but most people do not. I've seen just recently a report stating the most prominent passwords, the most common passwords. Number 3 in the list was password. This is genius.
Or coronavirus. Another one is coronavirus.
Really, it's probably going up in the list. So one challenge is that people are using their whole infrastructure for conducting business. This actually means that the economy is slightly dependent on the cybersecurity practices or cybersecurity hygiene that individuals are practicing. Now, this is huge. Number 2, there is an increased use of online services, of e-government services, ordering groceries from online grocery stores, buying from various retailers, using various VC infrastructures like the one we are using now in order to communicate. Online services entail more cyber attacks. There is a huge trend of what we refer to as BYOD, bring your own device. So people are working from home and they're using their own computers. Now, this same computer is used by their children to play online. It is not as secure as their work computers. And all these trends create a situation where the infrastructure that is used by workers from home is significantly less secure. The 4th trend is related to the retention of information. Now, when I use my home computer, I don't necessarily communicate with my work environment. In some cases, I may retain the information on my work computer, maybe on my desktop. This means the information is not classified in any way, it is not retained in any way, it may not be backed up in any way, and I may lose intellectual property in the process. Not only is it more susceptible to cyber attacks, but it is more susceptible to issues with data retention. I may lose this information. Now, people are becoming more and more cyber aware today because of the COVID related challenges. But the bad guys, the hackers, are aware that people are working from home, are aware that people are using more and more online services, and they are using this as an opportunity in order to cyber attack environments. Now, some of these attacks are related to the online services, are related to attacking people through phishing attacks. Just to give you an example, in April, the World Health Organization published a report stating that the number of cyber attacks related to coronavirus or to health has increased 5 times during this month related to previous month. We see some very cynical cyber attacks. And just to give you one example, this is a recent example from 16 July. The UK and the US published an advisory related to this. I'm sure you are aware of this, that cyber attackers are trying to attack organizations that are trying to find a vaccine to COVID-19. Now, come on, we need this vaccine. Why are you cyber attacking them? We need them to work full speed ahead. This is a very, very cynical attack, but it's happening. Now, I can't claim to understand the reasons.
I mean, if I had to guess, the reason is that they realize that we're vulnerable And to the extent we get back on our feet, their ability to attack will be harder.
That's very, very true. Now, you spoke about the vaccine to COVID-19. Let's speak about what nation states should do about cybersecurity in this era. So first and foremost, when we are talking about national grade cyber challenges, we need national grade cyber solutions. This is going to be my most important message today in this interview with you. The market is full of cyber solutions. Today, CISOs, computer information security officers, are perplexed with the amount of solutions that they have. Some of the solutions are equivalent, some of the solutions solve a singular niche, and they need to make a decision what they're going to use. The market is saturated with cyber solutions, a lot of technology out there. But when we are talking about protecting nation states, protecting entire countries, we need to remember that national grade challenges require national grade solutions. And these solutions incorporate 5 elements. Number 1, state-of-the-art technology. Now here, I'm going to boast a little bit. Israel is one of the leaders in cyber technology around the world. Technology on its own is insufficient. You need very effective methodology on how to use this technology in order to be able to utilize it to combat cyber threats. So methodology is number 2. Number 3 is the most challenging one, constant innovation. The threats are evolving, the technologies are evolving, so whichever solution you deploy to protect a nation state needs to be adaptable. It needs to be a learning solution. And I'm not going to use buzzwords like artificial intelligence and machine learning. I'm only going to say that the solution needs to be adaptable to new threats on one hand and to new technologies on the other hand. Number 4, again, very important, is collaboration. The bad guys collaborate. The bad guys share knowledge among themselves. We need to be able to share knowledge in an effective, secure, and fully authenticated manner in order to be able to mitigate potential threats. When we know that a threat is out there, it's easier for us to mitigate it. If we don't know about it, we can't mitigate it. And finally, and this is the holy grail, Adriana, capacity buildup. Training, certification, cyber hygiene, cyber awareness campaigns. The weakest link in a nation state is the population. We are human, we make mistakes. If we are not aware, then we can't really protect ourselves. Okay, so first, let's try to understand the essence of the dark web. The essence of the dark web is the fact that you can anonymously communicate with other like-minded hackers or criminals. Now, the key word is anonymously. If the dark web were fully authenticated and you would know for a fact who is the person in front of you, who is the person you are communicating with, then there wouldn't be a dark web. But the essence of the internet is that it is the balance between privacy and security. Privacy, or at least I would say the appearance of privacy, governs because you can do whatever you want to do anonymously. Just to give you an example, it is extremely simple to create a bogus account on a social media. So the fact that the internet today, the internet as a whole, and the dark web particularly allows to communicate in a way that is not fully authenticated has its caveats. By the way, it also has its advantages. So this is a balance. And we constantly have to strike the balance between privacy and security. Now, this means that when we create a collaboration framework, and I'm going back to the good guy side again, then we need to make sure that the information that we are receiving is from trusted, fully authenticated users. Now, one of the products that IAI is marketing today is a product by the name of SciShare. SciShare is a product that essentially is a social network that is fully authenticated. This is why many, I would say, nation states, critical infrastructures, large enterprises approach us. IAI is a well-known company. It has a stellar reputation of providing our end users with very effective solutions. We also have a very, very good track record in cybersecurity. We have excellent references. And one of the reasons we are approached by nation states is because of the fact that we are reputable. Now, in cyber, and this is something, again, that I'm sure you are aware of, there is no single company that is able to provide a full end-to-end solution. What we have done in 2016 is establish an Israeli consortium by the name of ICCC, the Israeli Cyber Companies Consortium. Now, this consortium offers end-to-end solutions to our nation-state customers based on the same. Today we are 12 companies. Some of them are very, very big names like Checkpoint and CyberArk and Variant, just to name three. But some of them are also startups. And we vetted their products.
Nice.
So we assure our end users that these products are effective products. All of them are Israeli. We are strong believers in the strengths of the Israeli ecosystem in terms of technology and in terms of methodology and in terms of constant innovation, which I've already mentioned. And this is a way to implement collaboration to the benefit of our end users. So anyone out there who is seeing this interview and thinking about implementing a national level cyber solution, feel free to contact us. To some extent, there is too much innovation in cyber. There are too many technologies out there. This creates a situation where it's difficult to assess the value of a singular technology. So the king here is integration, is the ability to bring a full solution and not a singular product. And this is how CISOs should start thinking. They should think about a solution, about the entire risk assessment of their organization and what needs to be done. And they should think about all the aspects, not only the technology. I've seen more than once technology that was bought by an organization, in some cases a very large organization, and they weren't using it. And I asked, why aren't you using it? So they told me, well, there's so many false positives. We can't really gain any insight from this technology. So I told them, did you create a methodology on how to use the technology? Did you look into the thresholds? No, we're using the default threshold provided by the company. Well, this again goes to the issue that you mentioned, that there is no one size fits all. So the bottom line is that when you are assessing a solution, and I'm using this word very, very carefully, when you are assessing a solution, then you need to make sure that in terms of the integration, in terms of the methodology, and in terms of the future-looking aspect of the solution, it needs to be forward-looking, because cyber solutions tend to become obsolete after a while. Technology is moving ahead. Then it is covered. Not only technology, but the 5 aspects we talk about. Technology, methodology, constant innovation, collaboration, and capacity buildup. This is the main takeaway. And by the way, I preach it around the world. Consider these 5. Cyber can move the needle on your GDP, on your gross domestic product. Now, here's why. Today, there is a huge shortage of cyber experts around the world. Just to quote a research done by the CSIS, the Center for Strategic Studies, the American one, in January 2019, as of that point of time, there were 314,000 cyber experts missing in the industry. There was a lack of 314,000 cyber experts. Now, cyber expert, and I'm not talking about a SOC operator, I'm talking about a cyber expert, a forensic analyst, a cyber analyst, an ethical hacker, talking about the experts. A cyber expert makes on average $200,000 a year. Now, countries that will take up the challenge and generate these cyber experts can become regional hubs. Since cyber is borderless, and you already spoke about it being borderless, this means that if, for example, I establish a cyber academy in a certain country and I generate these experts, they can provide services also outside of the country. So if I generate enough experts, I can move the needle on my GDP. And this is becoming more and more apparent today during COVID. So I urge nation states out there to establish cyber academies, good ones. This will help make the world more secure because we need the experts out there. We need them combating the cyber criminals. We need them combating the cyber hackers. We need them making the world a safer cyber place. And it will also provide you economical value. And this is why, by the way, why many emerging markets are approaching us today. And again, I urge the audience to reach out to us and to speak to us about establishing cyber academies. This is one of the important things that we do today around the world.
A lot of countries, a lot of individuals don't know where to turn.
I fully agree, and this is why forums like the one you are leading is so important.